Hey there, welcome to Georgia Institute of EMS's orientation class. Look, we are excited to have you here. We are ready to get started, get you down the road on the path towards becoming an advanced EMT. And what does that mean? What is it all? What am I going to have to do to get there? Is it really that hard? Well, truth is, it's not easy, but it is very doable. Each and every one of you in this room now, you have the ability to do this. Trust me, you do. It's not that hard. It's just a little bit time consuming at times. It is a lot of information, but each and every one of you have made it through the EMT part, which was a huge undertaking. This one builds upon it. And you will be learning some new skills and reviewing some old skills and building upon what you already know. So you are a lot better prepared than what you probably think. So for us, we're here to help you and guide you through that process. And part of that is teaching you how to use this course room. So let's go ahead and let's dive into the course room. If you can see, I've got my window open here. Let me open it up nice and big so that you can see it. And what I have is two course rooms up because we have two types of programs. We have the traditional program, which is usually signified as just AEMT. And then we have the Flex program, which is the Flex AEMT program. Both course rooms work almost exactly the same. Almost. There are just a few functional, or not really functional, but administrative differences in each of these rooms. So I will make sure that I point that out as we go. Okay? So I'll be flipping back and forth. I will make sure you know that I'm either talking about flex, traditional, or both. So to start with, we're going to talk about both. Yes, both. And both is right here at the very top. We have a countdown timer. That means that this course is coming to an end on these days. So if you see the traditional, you got 33 weeks left, right? Your flex, you've got 52 weeks left to get it done. Now, don't sit around, don't wait till the last minute because you've got 52 weeks to get everything completed. Now, you will have to be completed with all of your coursework, both traditional and your flex, about 1 month before this. So take 4 weeks off of these times, and you need to be finished with all your coursework because the last bit of the program is nothing but capstone. And we will teach you about capstone as we get into clinical orientation, okay? The next thing I want to point out that is there for both the traditional and the flex are announcements. So announcements are where we will put information. And let me switch my role to a student here. And if I click on announcements, you'll see things that we may put in there, like maybe the school's going to be closed, or maybe there is an opportunity for you to go to the GBI crime lab or something like that. Could be in here. To be honest with you, we do not use it that often. We use WhatsApp for the most part, but it's there just in case. If there is an announcement put in there, you will get an email as well to let you know that there has been an announcement, and that announcement will be in your email as well. So sometimes you may get some information that way. Now, both of you have this statement here, right? Please note that you are required to complete 100% of all assigned work, including watching all videos listed in the course room. It's not okay or acceptable for you to only take the exam of each section. You will have to do all work. Everything that is assigned to you does not matter if your instructor or coach gives you a worksheet to do and they tell you you have to do it, you have to do it, and you have to get it done to standard, okay? So the first thing that I want to point out that is different for the traditional students, you have schedule to go by. So you have a couple things here. One, we have a course calendar over here that you can see when everything is due. is there. You can also download a lab schedule as well. Now on here, this tells you when assignments are due, are on here. And it also tells you when you have labs that are due, okay? So here, over here, if you click on this, this brings you up to a document you can download that tells you when all your labs are going to be. So you will have labs on these days, and get with your instructor if you have any questions about that, okay? But also here, you've got all your assignments are listed over here, but also over here as well, you have your assignments. You'll see that they are over here. So there is no reason for you to say, I did not know about an assignment. Now, the difference with Flex, now this is for our Flex students, so traditional, just zone out for a second, is that Flex students, you don't have that because you will work with your coach or instructor to come up with most of your due dates. There are a few, if you see over here, upcoming events, you've got a photo upload assignment due and an introduction due coming up. You also have by December 4th, coming up for everybody that's in this class, you'll have a contact info form that needs to be filled out, and it's right here, okay? One thing I'd suggest do for my Flex students and anybody is to fill this out right now. Go ahead and do it and get it over with, okay? So next thing I want to focus on the Flex students just for a little while is that you have an initial coaching that you're going to have to do. And what you'll do is you can click on this link to find out what times your coach is available for this. Now, you're going to have to get this done in the next 2 to 3 weeks. There is a holiday in there, so we understand that, so that can push things back a little bit. But this initial coaching can be in person or it can be online through Google Meet. We do that. We do that most of the time, actually. But what you'll do, and this has got my link in here, and your instructor will be getting theirs updated, but it'll be a calendar, and you'll click on the date, and it will show what days are available, and you can click a time, and then you will then meet at that time, okay? Typically, these appointments are about 30 to 45 minutes long, so plan on that. Do not be on shift at work doing this. Do not, because if you're in the middle of it and you get a call and you have to leave, you'll get a 0 for the assignment. A 0. And you'll have to redo it as well. But you will not get credit and you will get a 0 for it. So you've been warned right now, do not be on shift doing this. If you are on shift doing it and you have no option, get with your coach and work that out ahead of time. You and your coach could work something out. I'm fine with that, but just don't spring it on them, okay? Before, and this is for our Flex students, before you do that, your Flex planning form needs to be done. So you can go ahead and make your appointment, yes, but your Flex planning form needs to be filled out. And you just click on that link and answer the questions. That's all you got to do. And then click submit after you answer the questions. And this will give you and your coach something to go by during this planning session, okay? And I already told you about the contact form that you got to do. You just click on that and just fill this out. I would go ahead and do it now. If I was you, if you're sitting in here and in between waiting on to see another instructor or another station or something, go ahead and do it. It'd take you 2 minutes to do before you leave. And stuff. So now let's go back to our regular class, traditional class, and I just click, and this is for both, for everybody. If you see, everything down here is kind of closed up in sections, right? If you see the traditional, you have weeks with dates, and those are the dates for those weeks when things have to be done. The Flex, they say modules, and the reason why is because you'll be working with your coach to figure out what date and when you're going to get this stuff done. However, they both mimic each other, to be honest with you. But that's going to be, up to you and your coach as to when and how you want to get that done. So then you have clinical prep, and both of you have, clinical prep that you have to do. And in the clinical prep, you have things like the National Highway Safety Course. Now, if you've already done this course, just supply us with the certificate and we'll give you credit for it. If you don't have the certificate and you took the course with us, let us know, get with your instructor, and we'll see if we can find it. We should be able to find it, should have a copy of it for you. So just get with your coach and instructor on that. But regardless, you have to have it done for this course. This right here where it says certificate, right? This is the link to get to it, where you would take it, because these courses are outside of Georgia Institute of EMS. They are mandated by the Department of Transportation, or the DOT, and we have no control over their support or anything. But this is where we put your grade. That's all that is. Immunization paperwork, if you've already given it to us, just get with us. If you were an EMT student with us, get with us and we can look and see what we have. Tuberculosis results, we'll need that. Now, if you were an EMT student and you just finished EMT and you came right into this advanced EMT class, you do not have to get another TB test. However, if you had a break in between, you will have to get a tuberculosis test again. CPR card is a requirement. We'll need a copy of your CPR card. Please get it to us. Your CPR card has to stay current and valid throughout the entire course. And it has to be the correct level of CPR. It has to be CPR for BLS or healthcare provider level, okay? So we'll need to look at that and make sure that that's good. The clinical packet, you will do that, before your clinical orientation. For the flex students, you'll need to do it before you come into that clinical orientation, whereas the traditional student here, you have a due date to have it done by, okay? And this is a copy to the clinical packet form that you can click on, download it, and sign it, and bring it with you. And then here's the clinical handbook as well, so that you can click it and read it and look over it. Now, all of you should have had IS 100 and 700. We need your certificates. If you've already had it and you've already given us a certificate, get with us. We'll look and see if we've had it. Hopefully we do. And then we can get you taken care of, okay? If not, if we can't find a certificate and you don't have the certificate, then you'll have to retake it. If you are like an old timer and you took it like 4 years ago, you're going to have to retake it. So it has a shelf life on it. So get with your instructor about that. Another class that is needed is the Entitled CO2 class. This class is on the state of Georgia site. And you will click on that, and then you can just click on the link here, and it will take you to the site where you'll need to take it. If you run into any issues, just let your coach know. And then the CAH class, all of you, if you're licensed in Georgia, all of you should have it, but we need a copy of the certificate. And if you don't have a copy of the certificate, you'll have to retake it. So get a copy of the certificate. Let us know if you need help, okay? The BLS exam, now this is not a BLS course. This is just an exam over it. So this will not get you a new card. However, you are required to take this exam with us, okay? So that is exactly the same for our flex students. However, there are some things that there is one thing I want to go over here is with the flex students, we have this AEMT course here. The traditional students have to take it too. It's just they have a specific day they have to have it by, and they have a due date, whereas you don't. And we put it up here like this for the flex class because y'all will forget about it. We need this, this should be one of the first things you do. And most flex coaches make you do this first. So to do this, all you got to do is click on the link. It will take you here. And this is for the traditional class too. Whenever it's your due date and it's time for you to do it, all you'll do is click on the link, just like I just did, and it'll bring you here. Fill out this information. Now, there may come a part where it says, oh, it cost $100 or something. Don't worry about it. Just click through it. We've already taken care of that. It's part of the class. You don't have to worry about that, okay? And just click sign up, and then it will walk you through the class. If when you're doing it, if you run into any issues, just let your coach know, and they will help you. Now, for my flex, now this is for flex. Okay, so traditional, take a little break for a little bit. We're going to click on lab and clinical date request. Flex students, you're required to get us your lab dates by the 15th of the month and your clinical dates by the 15th of each month. And what you'll do is you will click on these forms here, like here is a lab date request form, and you will fill this out and click submit. One thing I want to be specific on to let you know, and you need to do, is that whenever you're requesting a lab date, you need to make sure you put the date and time. If you do not put the time, we will assume that you are available from 9 in the morning till 10 at night, and we will fill you in as appropriate. If you come back a week later and say, oh, I can't do that time, well, then you just burn $100 because you'll get a missed lab fee for that. Make sure you do it correctly. Make sure you do it correctly, okay? Put it in the correct time, your times and stuff. Clinical date request forms, flex students, you will do this after you do clinical orientation and follow the instructions of your coach and the clinical coordinator on that, okay? Just know that we need these dates by the 15th. If you submit dates after the 15th for clinical, you're probably not doing clinical that next month. Lab dates, if you submit dates after the 15th of the month, we will not be working around your dates. We will look on the schedule, see what's available, and let you know. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't for you. You need to have us our dates by the 15th, okay? And people will ask, why is that? And it's because we have to plan. We have other instructors. They have to go to their employer and get days off. We have to work that out. We don't have just people waiting around at a whim to jump into a lab, okay? So we need help getting these things scheduled. Other thing I like to point out is for clinical dates, right quick, if you submit clinical dates, do not plan anything on those dates except clinical. Because if we come back, if you put in like, hey, I want to go on clinical on the 5th, and then we come back a couple weeks later, because sometimes it can take a couple weeks to get approval because we are waiting on the other sites to approve your clinical days. If you come back and you gave us the 5th and then we told you, oh, you're approved for the 5th, and then you come back and you're like, oh, I can't do the 5th anymore, that's not acceptable. You need to be available for the dates that you put in for, okay? If something happens after you put it in, get with us as soon as possible about making changes, though. We will do everything we can to help you. Don't think that we won't. We will do everything we can to help you. All right, so this is for our flex students and flex students only. Once again, you have your attendance. And the attendance, which for this class here, let's see, your class this is November. So your first one will be right here, November 19th to December 2nd. I'll be fixing this so that these other ones aren't there for you anymore. But this November 19th to December 2nd, all you got to do is click on that, and then there is a link here. And this is for flex students, okay? So traditional, you don't have to do it. Your attendance is taken when you come to class every day. Every week. You don't come every day, every week, or whenever your lab is. So don't think, oh my God, I'm coming every day. No, follow your schedule. So for the flex students, because there could be a couple months before you come to a lab, we still have to do attendance. And you're required to do attendance every 2 weeks. Missing attendance 2 times in a row, on the 3rd time, you will probably be dropped from the program. So do not do anything that's going to get you dropped from the program. If you miss attendance 3 times, that means that you are going to have to start over, move to another program or something, okay? So don't do it. This form takes like 2 minutes to complete. So there's no excuse for not getting it done, and you have almost a 4 or 5 day window to get it done. So you can find 2 minutes no matter what's going on. I understand emergencies happen, but you can still find the time to get it done. And all it is your email, name, and just answer these few questions and click submit, and you're done. Like I said, it takes 2 minutes to do this form, and that is for the Flex students, okay? All right, so clinical, and this is for both the Flex and traditional students. There's nothing much here for you to do, okay? So all this is a place for us as instructors to put your grade. And you can come here and you could click, and you could, if you click on it, you would see your grade for clinical. So that's all that is for. And then we get into our weeks or our modules. So I'm going to open up week 1 there. Let me go over here and open up module 1 here. And both will start off as administrative. So you have like a beginning class survey that you can do if you want to. It may or may not work. I think the state of Georgia is changing the link, so this may not work. If it doesn't work and you click on it, don't worry about it. It's fine. But if it does work and you want to fill it out, please do so. Same thing over here. So I think, yeah, we've taken it off on this one just because it's not working. So Flex students, I will go in and I will take that off today. I'll probably just go ahead and do that right now. So Flex students, don't worry about the Georgia survey. We are good. So we're going to keep moving along, right? You have a tech support thing here on both of us. So both of us have tech support somewhere. Yep. It's down here for this one. Oop. So we've got tech support there. And the best way to get tech support is really by going to our WhatsApp channel and asking for help. That's the best way. So let's do that. The orientation video, that's what you're watching now, basically. So that's what that is, and you'll see that on both sides. Let's see here. So next, we've got introduction and introduction here, and we have introduction here. So an introduction is just what it sounds like. It's an introduction to introduce yourself. So all you're going to do, here are your instructions. You'll need to post a substantive introduction about yourself, and you will respond to at least 2 of your fellow students. So let's add a new discussion topic. All you got to do is click on that, put your name, add your topic or your discussion in here, and click post to forum. That's it. Then you're done with that part. Then once some of your other fellow classmates, after they've posted and you've posted, you will see them posted down here. And then what you'll do is you'll just click on the link and then click reply like you would in an email and say, hey, nice meeting you, whatever it is you want to say, and then do that with two people, at least 2 people. For the traditional students, you have a contact info assignment due as well. If you see here, there's a due date for it, November 22nd. All you will do is click on that, click on the link here, and fill out the form. That's all you got to do. And then you're done. Guess what? Just made an easy 100. Easy A's, right? Next is the photo upload assignment. Now, some of you may have already done it. If you were our student in the past, you probably look up here and you'll see your pictures there. Now, what we want is a picture of your face. If you can see how mine is, you can basically make me out there. And to do this, you can watch the tutorial. If you click on that, you'll see there's a video tutorial of us showing you how to do it. And then just do it. This right here is just for us to be able to put your grade in and give you the assignment. So please get that done. You have until the 22nd of November to get that done. Flex students, you got till the 6th of December to get it done. So you have a little bit longer to get it done. So make sure you get it done. You can follow the tutorial and get it done there. Now for both of you, for both traditional and flex, you have to do your coursework. The difference is here, the flex student, they don't have due dates, whereas the traditional student, you have dates that it has to be due by, right? And those due dates for the traditional student can be found over here. Like look, lectures chapters 1 through 2 is due Friday, November 22nd. And you can see it's also in this week's here. So once you've read chapter 1, and if you can see here, chapter 1 is written in red, it's bold, it's got asterisks and highlighted yellow. Do you think that's important? Yes, it is. So that means you need to do this. Once you've done it, then you need to click Mark as Done. If you do not click Mark as Done, the system will not say, hey, they did it. Now, this is me taking your word that you've done it. So please do it. It is the cornerstone and foundation of everything you need is in there. So make sure you read it. Now to help y'all out, because I know some of you may not have books, we do have the first 8 or 9 chapters are scanned and put in here. And all you got to do is click on chapter 1 and you'll see that there it is until you can get your book. But that's all you can do. The publisher let us do it because they know that we're requiring you to have the book and we're only giving you enough until if you order a book online, it can get in. Now I have here guided notes. These are some guided notes. Now they are not complete and we've been working on them. There's only a few. So only a few. It is a work in progress. A history of EMS video, look, you have to view that. So you'll come here and you'll watch this video. And all you got to do is watch it. Now, if you notice these videos, a lot of them are on YouTube or Vimeo. You have to watch them through here, though. You have to watch them here. You cannot go to YouTube or Vimeo and watch it. So let's say, for example, I'm watching this and see how small the screen is and I want it bigger. I can't go right here to this and I can make it bigger if I want to. Then to make it smaller, I just go over here and make it smaller again. But I'm still within here. Now this system records and watches everything that we're doing inside this system. And that's why it has to be in here so that we can watch and verify that you are doing the work. Because if you're not doing the work, you don't get credit for it. Do not open up multiple windows. Don't go here and then say, oh yeah, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to open this one up too. And I'm going to watch 2 lectures at the same time. The system can see that. And if the system sees that, it's not going to give you credit for any of them. Trust me, we have students all the time try this. I tell students all the time the same thing. Don't do it, but they do not listen to me. And then when they do it, they're like, oh, I didn't do that. When I'm sitting there looking at the log, looking at every click they did, everything they watched, and they're both running concurrently at the same time. Don't do it because you will not get credit for it. It will kick you back and you will have to rewatch it. If you are having difficulty and you keep having difficulties, what we will do is bring you to the school, sit you down with your computer, and we will watch you do it. And then 100% of the time, it always works when we're there. So make sure you're not trying to cheat the system, because cheating the system, you're really only cheating yourself. So don't do that. So now we've watched that video. Now that video is a little different than the other videos, okay? The lectures are graded differently or monitored differently. So to do a lecture, and this is for both traditional and flex, you will click on the lecture. Now you'll need to watch this lecture for the entire process, the entire 25 minutes. Read this and then click whichever one you agree to. And it should be, I understand the requirements. So this tells you the requirements that you got to watch it for 25 minutes and you have to watch the entire thing, and failure to watch the entire thing will result in you not receiving credit for attending that lecture. And you have to do all the lectures. You can't skip any. So then click submit. Next, we're going to watch the lecture. Just like before, you have to watch it in this window. You cannot go out, but you can click the full screen. You can watch it that way. When this video is done, and you have your mute and unmute there. So whenever you do this, and let's say we're going to pretend I watched this entire thing. If you see there's some links down here. And I want to say this, and I'm going to say it multiple times because somebody in here will probably do this regardless of how many times I say it anyway. Do not, and I repeat, do not, and I'm repeating one more time, do not click on these links. Do not. Because if you do, you will not get credit for watching the video. I'm going to say it again, do not click on these links because if you do, you will not get credit for watching the video. What you have to do is click this one right here that says next. So you will click next. So for me to be clear one more time, do not click these links. All right? Because if you do, you will not get credit for watching the video. Click next. So once you click next, it will bring you here. And it will say you've reached the end of the lesson. Now pick one. Either you have or you have not watched the lecture. If you have watched the entire lecture, click here and click submit. Once again, do not click this link or this link. Do not click this link or this link because if you do, you will not get credit for watching the lecture. Click submit. And then it's going to tell you that either you did it. Now look, I didn't meet the requirements. Okay? So once you've done that, then you can come here. Click here. Do not click this or this, or you will not get credit. Come here, click there, then come back, and then go to part 2. And do the same thing. Submit, watch the lecture. You can go full screen if you want to, but when it's over, click next. Do not click these links. Click next. Click you've watched it. Do not click these links, but click submit. And then you can go back and you're good. If you follow those directions, you will have a successful course and you will not have to rewatch any lectures, okay? Once you've done that and you've followed that and you've watched everything like you're supposed to, these will turn green like it did here. Like it says done, it'll say done and done, right? So here, see, it says I viewed it, but I didn't spend the time on activity. Now, on this, from this window here, because it's not a lecture window, I can click this one here. But if you're in a lecture, do not click those at the bottom. Now here it's telling us that we're off for Thanksgiving break. So here are the quizzes. And let me go to the Flex because here in the Flex class, I am an administrator. The traditional class, I'm in there as a student. And here are the quizzes. And I'm going to show you how the quizzes work. Quizzes work the same for both traditional and Flex, okay? The difference is that Flex will work with a coach for their due date. Traditional, you have a set due date, which I believe you can see is right there, okay? So you got to have it due by that day. Now, I'm going to click this. Well, this one I've already tried. We're showing somebody. Let me do chapter 3. Attempt quiz now when I'm ready. Make sure you have time. Now, if you see you got 40 minutes. Now, 40 minutes is plenty of time. Plenty of time. It's 2 minutes per question, and that's plenty of time for you to do this. If you've read the chapter and you've watched the lecture, you should be able to find the information quickly. Quizzes are open book, open notes, open resources. They are not AI. So do not be using AI to answer the quizzes. That's not helping you. That's not helping your patients. That's not helping anything. Okay? If I catch you doing that, that could be grounds for dismissal from the program. We do not tolerate cheating or academic dishonesty at all. Okay? So I just click Start Attempt. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to answer the questions. Once I answer the question, then I click next page. Then I can answer the question and click next page. Now, as you see here, as I'm doing it, these numbers are changing. So that means I've already completed these two. And if I wanted to go back and change my answer for number 1, I can just go back, change the answer, and click next page. Or I can click here and go to 3, and I can keep going and so on. I can skip around. If I want to go to 14 for some reason, I can do that. I wouldn't recommend it. But just so that we can get through this, I'm going to go to the last one. I click this one, and if you see, it changes from next page to finish attempt. So I'm going to click finish attempt. It's going to give me a summary of what I did. You can see I answered these, but I haven't answered a bunch of these. And I can click here, return to attempt if I want to. And that will take me back so that I can finish it. Or I can just say, nah, I'd rather just submit all and finish. Then it's going to ask me, are you sure, basically? I'm going to click submit all and finish. And then it's going to tell me my results. And I'll see my results here. And if I have to, I will retake it. So when I'm done, I'll click finish review. It's going to bring me back here. And then if I need to reattempt the quiz, I can click right here to reattempt the quiz. And that's how you take quizzes for both traditional and flex students. Drug cards. Drug cards are a requirement for both flex and traditional students. The drug cards for the flex students must be done before you can do your pharmacology lab. Traditional students, you actually have a due date. So look on your due dates and have it done by the due date, which is usually at the pharmacology lab or the night before the pharmacology lab or somewhere there. I would recommend, because people ask, how do I do it all the time? I don't care if you type them, handwrite them. That's me if it's my class. Ask your coach and your instructor how they want them done. And they will guide you on that. Okay? Flex students. Flex students, you need to email this to them. Okay? Now, you can upload, if you want to, into the system. You can, but as instructors, we don't get a notification that you did. And because flex students do not have due dates, you may do yours, but then Jesse, he may do his 4 weeks from now. So we're not in here checking every single day who did what, okay? Email it to your coach or instructor. Email it to them, because guess what? Now it's right there right in front of them, and we've got it, and we can take care of it. You also have receipt that you sent it as well, and so on. Traditional students, get with your instructor. They will give you instructions on what to do. Most of the time, I know I like mine to be emailed because email seems to work better. You can email larger attachments, and you can have a good read receipt of it going back and forth, okay? So what are drug cards? All right, drug cards, is something that you can print out so that you can study your drugs. Now, this list should be changing. We should be adding Toradol and Zofran to it. These are just a couple new drugs that have been added to the scope of practice for advanced EMTs. So we should be adding those, but you'll just answer these questions on a card or on something or on paper, and then you'll scan it and get it to your instructor. All right, so you have your labs. All right, so here you have a pharmacology lab. This is just for your grade for the most part. If your instructor uses that, it's for the traditional students, it's mainly there so that we have a place to put a date, because we are not using the grade book in Moodle. Lab instructor evaluations, these are here for both traditional and flex. You can click on that. And I encourage you to fill this out for all your instructors so that we get good feedback on what they did good, what they did bad, what we could do better, and so on, okay? And also in here, you'll see for your labs, there's paperwork. So you'll need to bring this paperwork with you to your lab. So when you have a lab, make sure you print this out and bring it to you. Part of the program, part of the requirements of the program is for you to have a printer or access to a printer. Okay, so make sure you bring this with you to your lab because you'll need to fill these out during your lab in order for you to get credit for lab. All right, well, that brings us to the end of this part of going over how to use Moodle. One thing that I would like to point out, something or maybe a couple more things to point out, is the grade books, grades, okay? You'll see over here there is a thing to hit grades, and you will see like your some grades in here. Just know this is not your official grade book, okay? You will be given a link today, tomorrow, here in the next couple of days of how to see your official gradebook. Your official gradebook will come as a Google Sheet document that you will be able to see and follow. That is your official gradebook. So regardless of what's in Moodle, your official grade is what's in there. And if you see a discrepancy between the two, you need to let an instructor know, and that goes for both traditional and flex, okay? And we will be going over that with you. Again, like during your first lab and other labs as well. And I'll probably make a video here for you to have as reference as well. So, one last thing I just want to point out, one last thing is right here at the top. Once again, make sure you read this, see how important that is. Make sure you follow everything as you should. So, starting from Module 1 down, follow it in order, Flex students, okay? Don't skip modules. Follow it in the order that it is here. Even though you will see the chapters skip around, that's fine. That's the way we want it, okay? So follow it in order. Same thing for the traditional students. Traditional students, you have everything listed by week, so stick to what is listed in that week to get done, okay? So don't skip weeks. Make sure you get everything done. If you fall behind, get with your instructor. Get a plan to get caught up if you need to, okay? All right. I think we've made it pretty much to the end here. If you do run into any questions, please let me know. I am here to help you. We are all here to see you succeed and do great. We are excited to have you. We hope you're excited. And we look forward to working with you in lab and working with you in the field. So, once again, see ya in lab.